That theme here. Joining us this morning is Anthony Rumore, an Army veteran, military police veteran, who was one of the first responders at Ground Zero right after the World Trade Center attacks. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Good morning.
And
Thanks for having
me. All the work you did that day and beyond, I'm sure. You said you were there at Ground Zero at 5 o'clock that afternoon, the day of the attacks.
That's correct. Right. We were activated. We were on site. We were in charge of securing Tower 1. All rescue, fire missions, any first responders had to go through our cordon, so we were the first line of defense.
And what was that like that day? I mean, when you first walked up and saw the devastation there.
It was pretty tragic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Walking to the site, there was, inches of soot on the ground. You get down there, there was just chaos everywhere. Uncontrolled chaos, if you can imagine, the first day. As the days had gone on, obviously it was a little more controlled, but there was, even at Ground Zero, there was people looting the towers underneath the banks, the jewelry stores, so there was just, it was a horrible scene.
And you're running through the streets there helping, obviously.
Correct.
Were you with other first responders as well at that point? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was first responders coming in, people at construction, off-duty police officers, firemen, everyone coming in to help out.
You're getting, this is 18 years ago, and
Correct.
You're a big, strong guy, and you're sitting here getting emotional.
Yeah. The most emotional part for me was seeing Americans behind the barricade, asking about, helping find their loved ones. That was an emotional day.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so many of them.
Right.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. It was tragic, but now even afterwards, although the first responders are having health issues, they have breathing issues like myself, many of which that cannot be found. They can't detect, what it is that's wrong, and I'm actually one of them.
Tell me about what's going on with you.
Sure, I have some respiratory issues. Obviously, like you mentioned, I'm in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Used to be able to run, pretty quickly, a mile in 6 minutes, and I can't do anything like that anymore. So. It's been difficult trying to find out, what's wrong with me, going to the VA, going to New York on my own expense to try to find out what's wrong with me medically.
Yeah.
And no one can find anything. Just recently, this year, they found that I had asthma, which still does not define what is going on with me, my respiratory issues. So it's a silent issue. There's no cure for it. And a lot of doctors just don't understand still. 18 years from ago, what's going on.
We've been talking about this, it's important, and 18 years, we mentioned it, that children school age, they haven't been alive long enough to really understand, obviously, they weren't even alive when it took place. It is so important, though, for us to remember this day.
A lot of people don't understand the impact that the military had, obviously, hats off to fire and police, obviously the first responders. But even going to 9/11 with my family, the memorial, there was just no recognition for the military. A lot of people didn't even know we were there. And speaking to my wife, she said, "Wow, before you told me this, I had no idea the military was present."
I didn't know either.
Yeah. So we played a big part of cordon and security, at that time.
So if you could get a message out here to people who may not be aware of what happened there, or even going forward, what would you say to people as far as it relates to you, your first responders?
Oh gosh, I had a lot of PTSD stemming from that day. If you need to talk to somebody, don't be that person that says I can handle it myself. Go talk to somebody. Obviously, if you're feeling health issues, go see a doctor. Tell them, describe exactly what you're feeling. After serving and retiring in the military, you hear that strong, manly man and woman, obviously, saying that, oh, I can handle it myself, so.
The important thing, I think, knowing you're not alone, right? You're not alone out
exactly,
there.
yeah.
Anthony, it's an honor meeting you and talking with you today.
Thank you for having me in.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Thank you.